Asher abete perro begerto. Yeta perro begelo que comin. Ba carnish be abierto. Yish be abegelo que comin. Gene shahaho katarota arushanoto.
Shalom, family. This is Judah, the Hebrew. I have a problem. Well, no, I don't have a problem, but let me show you who does have a problem. And they go by the name Divrei Tanakh. Let me spell that for you. Divrei Tanakh. So I'm going to show you what happens when you expose false teachers. So I want to, let me see here. I want to select the tab to share. Okay. Let me see. Okay, this is the first time that I've used the share screen on YouTube's platform on live. All right. Okay. Here is this guy. Let me see if I can find the first comment. I believe it's here. According to Divrei Tanakh, he says, Shalom. It's not about Israel. It's about Jeremiah. The grammar shows this. The grammar shows this. And he says, I have 7 videos on this proven. His grammar it sucks. On this proven from the Suffering Servant Songs and TE grammar, it's Jeremiah. If you like, I converse with you. See, this guy is wanting a debate. I don't do debates. And then he says, let me just go down to all the replies. All right, this was my reply. I said, if this is what you're teaching, then you need to stop teaching and start listening. I'm having my morning coffee. It's like 6 o'clock. I've been up since 5. I says, if this is what you're teaching, then you need to stop teaching and start listening. Isaiah 53 describes a servant who suffers because of the sins of others, while Jeremiah suffers because of his own missions and Israel's rebellion. The grammar, the pronouns, the context, and the historical setting all contradict the Jeremiah theory. Isaiah 53 is written in the past prophetic perfect, describing something already completed from the narrative's perspective. Jeremiah's suffering happens after Isaiah, whatever your name is. Jeremiah's suffering happens after Isaiah, not before, not during, after. Isaiah cannot be describing a man who didn't exist yet. He don't see that. Isaiah 53 uses we and our for the nations of Israel, confessing their error. Jeremiah is not the one being confessed about. Jeremiah is the one speaking, not the one being spoken about. Isaiah's 53 servant bears the consequences of others, is rejected by the nations, brings healing to them, and is exalted after suffering. Jeremiah suffers because he rebukes Judah. He is rejected because his own people, not the nations, does not heal the nations, and is never exalted by the kings. So the mission he
So I was gonna wait, but shit, let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 18:8. What does it say right here? If that nation against whom I have pronounced turn their evil, I will repent from the evil that I do unto them. Now, Jeremiah was a prophet unto the nations. Verse. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I consecrated you. I have appointed you a Nabi Goyim, right? Nabi HaGoyim, a prophet to the nations. This is what you call, what does he say? A classic example of foolish pride mixed with arrogance. All praises to the Most High for making these people expose themselves. Now, he wouldn't said a prophetic perfect, right? Let's see what he said about this prophetic perfect.
Because of his own mission, Divrel.
And he makes fun of the words. Devri HaTanakh means words of the Torah. So while you trying to mock me, you mocking the Torah. You mocking the Most High's law. But you know what I'm saying? Again, foolish pride mixed with arrogance.
Reiha Tanakh.
But you told me I wasn't qualified. I'm a false teacher, and you're qualified. So if you're qualified, you should already know this shit, right? You should know this, right? Being that you're more qualified. You know what I'm saying, right? You should know that, right? Yuda, right? You should know that.
He says, Shalom. It's not about Jeremiah's suffering happens after Isaiah. The grammar, the pronouns, the context, and the historical setting all contrast. Isaiah 53 describes a servant who suffered. I said, if this is what you're teaching, then you need to stop teaching and start listening. I'm having my morning coffee. It's like 6 o'clock. I've been up since 5. I says, if this is what you're teaching, then you need to stop teaching and start listening. Isaiah 53 describes a servant who suffers because of the sins of others. While
I'm trying to get to the part where he says a prophetic perfect.
I said, if this is what you're teaching, then you need to stop teaching.
Let me see, because I put it down here. 5:51.
Isaiah 53 uses we and our for the nations of Israel, confessing their error. Jeremiah is not the one being confessed about. Jeremiah is the one speaking.
Now, he says a prophetic perfect, right? Completed action. It is a completed action. It's a completed action in the prophet's mind, meaning that it's for sure going to happen in the future. That there is no turning back. That there is no maybe. That is for a certainty going to happen in the future. This dumbass thinks that it's supposed to happen, that it already happened in Isaiah's time. I go down here and show him right here. What does it say? A prophetic perfect is just letting you know that action is completed and will happen in the future. The prophetic perfect is more proof is Jeremiah, as he lived over 100 years after Isaiah. You don't know your timelines. Let's go see here. Where is it at? Try to find this. Prophetic perfect, right here. A prophetic perfect is a biblical, literary, and grammatical device where prophets use past tense verbs, the pronouns, the so-and-so, to describe future events, not past events, future events, right? Right? What did he tell me? I need to sit down and listen, right? Not listening to this shit. I know Hebrew grammar. This nigga doesn't. This is what you call foolish pride mixed with arrogance. Notice how these niggas always got their cash apps? That's why they be coming at me, because they're afraid I'm going to mess up their hustle. But let's continue.
Not the one being spoken about. Isaiah's 53.
Okay, so Jeremiah is speaking about Isaiah 53. All right, so the book of Jeremiah does not contain the suffering servant prophecy of Isaiah 53. Though some historical commenters and rabbis have compared Jeremiah's personal suffering and rejection to the servant figure. You need to sit down and listen. You need to humble yourself. You need to learn biblical Hebrew. Because this shit is too easy. It's too easy. We ain't even 10 minutes in the video, bro. On a 50-minute video, I already pointed out 3 fucking lies you done told. 3 lies you done told. And look at all these. Look. She one of the main motherfucking ones that came at me and started the shit. It's always you women. Women. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. The blind leading the blind.
Servant bears the consequences of others, is rejected by the nations.
Okay, so was Jeremiah rejected? Let's see. Jeremiah, a prophet to the nations. What does Yah say to Jeremiah? If that nation whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of that evil that I do to them. What does he tell them? At any time I might announce that a nation or kingdom will be uprooted, torn down, and destroyed. But if that nation I warn turns from its evil, then I will relent from the disaster I plan to bring. And if at another time I announce that I will build up and establish a nation or kingdom. Why he's telling Jeremiah this shit? Because Jeremiah was a prophet to the nations. Before I formed thee in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I consecrated you. I have appointed you as a prophet to the nations. The fuck is this old dumbass nigga talking about?
Brings healing to them and is exalted after suffering. Jeremiah suffers because he rebukes Judah. He is rejected because his own people, not the nations, does not heal the nations and is never exalted by the kings. So the mission he's claiming does not match. Here's the grammar problem, and I does not heal, bears the consequences of others, is rejected by the nations, brings healing to them, and is exalted after suffering. Jeremiah suffers because he rebukes Judah. He is rejected because his own people, not the nations.
Man, this shit too easy, man. This is too easy. We still ain't even 10 minutes in. What did he say? The servant was going to be healed after suffering. What did Yah just tell Jeremiah? I will restore health to you, and I will heal you of your wounds, says Yah. Because they called you an outcast. Who do they call an outcast? Let's see here. Nevertheless, I will bring health and healing to his people and reveal to them the abundance of truth. But whatever.
does not
I haven't even gotten to the
heal
grammar yet.
the nations and is never exalted by the kings. So the mission he's claiming does not match. Here's the grammar problem. And I showed him all this.
As you can see,
Isaiah 53 uses a third person singular. Obviously, this guy missed English class in school. Isaiah 53 uses third person singular, he and him, for the servant. Jeremiah's right.
now keep in mind. See this. Hold on, let's see here. Let's see. Hold on, let me pull it up. Hold on, I need to put 53. Damn. Now keep in mind, he just said this, right?
First person, I and me.
Remember, all the shit that he talking, right?
A third person singular. Obviously, this guy missed English class in school.
Okay, so again, he's referring to fucking English. The English don't matter. What does it say right here? Isaiah 53 uses the singular third person pronoun, he and him, over 60 times. However, it is true, subject, it is heavily debated topic, right? Both perspectives, Christian and the Jews, interpret this as singular language. Singular language. The perversive use of the singular masculine form is viewed as definitive proof that prophet Isaiah is referring to one person, not a group. What does that say? The grammar? The grammar? Is that what that says? What did he say about some fucking English in school and this and that?
Isaiah 53 uses a third person.
Now, obviously, he's reading this off of some shit, right? Look at the arrogance and the pride. Classic example of foolish pride mixed with arrogance. Classic example. He's reading off a goddamn screen, right? But you mean to tell me this nigga couldn't go and research this shit up right here and see this shit? You mean to tell me he couldn't go research and see this shit right here? All I typed in was Isaiah 53 written in the singular. That's all the fuck I typed in. And it tells you the grammar. The pervasive use of the singular masculine form is viewed as definitive proof that the prophet Isaiah is referring to one person, not a group. Jewish and Christians, both perspectives interpret this as singular language. Because the grammar proof that it's singular. Look at the arrogance, classic example of foolishness and pride. Remember, I'm going to show you a comment talking about I don't want to debate your ego and this and that, and then you go and make a fucking video. And then your video exposes yourself. How stupid can you be, sir? Classic example of foolishness and pride.
Singular. Obviously, this guy missed English class in school.
Obviously, he's projecting, as I just proved.
Isaiah 53 uses third person singular, he and him, for the servant. Jeremiah's writings use the first person, I and me, when describing his suffering. Isaiah 53 is not an autobiographical. Jeremiah's laments are autobiographical.
And see, that's not even my motherfucking me argument. He went to go Google some shit and is just reading the response of what they're saying. That again, you don't even know my argument. When I get into this grammar and show Isaiah 53 the active lamb, and then I show Jeremiah in the grammar as the passive lamb, what the fuck are you going to do then?
I'm not saying autobiographical. Okay. The different grammar, different speaker, and a different subject. The national context problem is Isaiah 40 and 55, which is about Israel in exile. The nations misjudging Israel being vindicated by YHWH. So Jeremiah remnant. He is a prophet warning Judah before exile. So we have the wrong era, the wrong context, and the wrong role. And he doesn't realize it, but he created a theological problem. Isaiah 53 servant is crushed by the nations and later vindicated before kings, used by Yah to correct the nation's misunderstanding. So in Jeremiah, he's persecuted by Judah, never vindicated before kings, never becomes a revelation to the nations. The theological art does not.
So I'm gonna rewind it back. He says that it is crushed. I have a theological problem or some shit. Isaiah 53 says that this person is crushed by the nations.
It's before kings. And he doesn't realize it, but he created a theological problem. Isaiah 53 servant is crushed by the nations.
Okay, right there. So he says it's crushed by the nations. Let's see if that's true. It's not crushed by the nations. It's crushed by the Most High. The word mipasenu shows you this. It says that the Most High was going to be doing this punishment and crushing and stuff like this. He said crushed by the nations. What does it say? Isaiah 53, the servant is explicitly described as crushed. However, the oppressor here is God, is Elohim. The Lord will crush him. And the servant's own people. Well, I'll be goddamn. I'll be damn. I'll be fucking damn. To find a passage where the servant is not crushed by the nations until fulfilling their mission, you may be thinking of Isaiah 42 and 4. The fuck is this nigga talking about? Again, classic example of foolishness, pride mixed with arrogance. Classic example. Cash App Yehuda 7. Brother, you trying to knock my hustle. You trying to knock my hustle. Y'all are lazy as fuck. You refuse to learn the Hebrew grammar. This nigga is reading other people's fucking responses off of the goddamn screen that he done Googled. This ain't even this nigga's own goddamn thoughts. Let's continue.
And later vindicated before kings.
Again, before I start again, the servant of Isaiah 53 is not being crushed by the nations. It's being crushed by the Most High. And you can go through this shit and see this shit easily. Isaiah 53, what is it? Isaiah 53, what verse is it? Shit. Isaiah 53 and 4. That's what I thought it was. Like, this shit is too easy, man. This is why a lot of you older people who don't know Hebrew grammar need to shut the fuck up, man. Like, seriously, I hate to say it like that. I hate to be, you know what I'm saying? I hate to be, you know what I mean? What sounds rude or whatever the fuck. Isaiah. Why is it not pulling up? Man, hold on. There we go. So Isaiah 53 and 4. Let's look at this shit right here. It don't say nothing about no nations crushing this person. That is fucking theology. Christianity shit. If you want to be quite frank. Consider him stricken by God and afflicted. I mean, stricken of Elohim. Let me make sure that's the correct verse. 53 and 10. Alright, we're gonna go to 10. That's what I thought it was. And then in 10, you got, it's fucking figuratively. You got DAKEO in there. You got, I'm finna go into Dead Sea Scrolls and show y'all some shit. Right here, DAKEO, right? DAKEO. It's in the PL infinitive third masculine singular. PL, let me show y'all some shit. Isaiah 53 and 10. What does it say? Crush figuratively. Crush figuratively. Crush figuratively. Crush figuratively. Like, again,
Used by
stupid nigga.
Yah to correct the nation's misunderstanding. So in Jeremiah, he's persecuted by Judah,
Singular person.
never vindicated before kings, never becomes a revelation to the nations. The theological art does not match.
Especially crushed by the Most High.
Excuse me.
Especially crushed by
So
the Most
Jeremiah,
High. The fuck is he talking about? You see right here, I really shouldn't even continue on with do any more of the video. We ain't even 10 minutes in, and I done pointed out so many lies of this dude, man. And I'm 25 minutes in my video. Like, this shit is a shame. A shame. The cause, according to the text, it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. He ain't getting crushed by no nations. The outcomes, the nations. So even in Isaiah 52, it's talking about the coastlands will eventually put the hope in his teaching. The coastlands. Like, what the, like, man, get the fuck on, bro. DAKEO, crush, figurative, with accusative of one's life on earth. Stop it. Stop it. Then, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Where is it at? I thought I already had it up. Let's go to the Dead Sea Scrolls. Isaiah 53, Dead Sea Scrolls. Let's go. Digital Dead Sea Scrolls. We're going to go to Isaiah 53, right? It's the 44, hit 44 right here on the tab. Zoom in. So we on 44. Let me see here. Let me find it. Right, there it is. So right here you see Im Tashmun Napso, right? Napso, right? That's an idiom. But down here you see the word or, right? In verse 11. Or he shall see light and be satisfied, right? Yireh or Yizbah. Array, Yireh or Yizbah. He shall see light and be satisfied, right? That's what it also says in there. But will you find that shit anywhere in the KJV? Blue Letter or Bible Hub? Let's see what it says in verse 11. He shall see the travail of his soul. He shall see the travail of his soul. We have the word or right here. Or. Yizbah or Yireh Yizbah, Yireh or Yizbah, right? Let's see what Bible Hub has. Isaiah 53 and 11. You see Yireh Yizbah. He will see and be satisfied. What will he see? Why is the word or not there? Because it's another fucking idiom that proves it's Jeremiah. When did Jeremiah see light? When Baruch, his scribe, distributed his book, the book of Jeremiah. It's an idiom. How do we know it's an idiom? The Torah is light. It's also an idiom. Proverbs 6 and 23. For the commandment is lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Need another witness per Deuteronomy 19 and 15, Psalms 119 and 105. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Or Yizbah or Yireh Yizbah or. Yireh, no or, Yizbah. He don't study. I told him, I tried to give him one and told him I'm not the fucking one to play with.
Jeremiah cannot be the servant in Isaiah 53 for several reasons. First, Isaiah 53 is written in the prophetic perfect, describing
Prophetic perfect. Now listen to what he says.
something that already been completed. While Jeremiah lived long after Isaiah.
Okay, so like he said, prophetic perfect. Prophetic perfect. Let me find where it's at. Here it is. No, that ain't it. Where is it? Prophetic perfect in Hebrew grammar. In biblical Hebrew, the prophetic perfect is a literary and grammatical device where a prophet uses a perfect completed verb tense to describe future events. To describe future events, what I keep trying to tell you, I am a teacher of biblical Hebrew. You are going to always lose to me because you do not know fucking biblical Hebrew. You're too lazy. Now you made this right here on this video, and I'm gonna say something about this right here.
Shalama.
Shalama. That's a female. That's a female name. It is a feminine proper name, right? It means blessings. It's blessings to the person who has that name. Personal blessings. It's not like shalom. And he went out here and said this right here. This was my first message to the shalom. It's not about Israel. It's about Jeremiah. The grammar shows that I have. The grammar shows this. I have 7 videos on this proven from the Suffering Servant songs, and they just started coming in talking shit. See that Carmen's lady? Go teach on your own platform. Blah 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 blah. So I respond. So why you bring that bullshit into my comment? Now he goes, if this is what you're teaching, you need to stop. And all this other kind of shit that he was reading and all this other kind of stuff. And as you can see, rah, 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 go team, go. But he goes and tells everybody that I'm a false teacher and all this shit. And I guess he erased this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I have it on the other video. Look, a debate isn't necessary. All this other kind of shit. I'm not entering into the ego contest, accusation, and sifting frames. Then he goes and makes this video. Full of fucking lies. Fake ass. Okay, I see that you're one of them to think that you know. Obviously, you're the one to think that you know. Look at the pride and arrogance on his face. Foolish example of pride. Because I'm busting his ass right now. Done proved a lot of shit is wrong. But so you want to erase all the stuff where you said called me a false teacher and all this other kind of shit, right? All right, but I'm gonna put it in. I got the video that I recorded earlier, so we'll put it in there. But we're gonna continue on. But that's what started all this right here. And then I was gonna leave it alone till I got sent this video by one of my students in my Hebrew language class. So now you done fucked up. Cause now I'm not gonna let up off your neck.
Now the second reason, Isaiah 53.
Now we already established that his first reason is wrong. Right? His first reason, a completed verb tends to describe future events to show you that it's going to happen with certainty. It's no maybe. It's not going to be taken back. None of that shit. It's going to happen. And what did he say?
While Jeremiah lived long after Isaiah 53 is written in the prophetic perfect, describing something that already been completed. While Jeremiah lived long after Isaiah. Now, the second reason, Isaiah 53 uses we and our for the nations or Israel confessing their mistakes about the servant. Jeremiah is the speaker in his writings, not the subject of someone else's confession.
Where are you getting that shit? Who even said that? How the fuck you figure a straw man argument?
Third, the servant in Isaiah 53 suffers for the sins of others and is later exalted before kings. Jeremiah suffers because of his own mission to rebuke Judah and his
Okay, let's see if the servant of Isaiah 53 is exalted in front of kings. Is the servant of Isaiah 53 exalted by kings? Okay.
Is never exalted by nations. He completely missed all of that. Now I want to show you.
Okay, so I completely missed that. Jeremiah wasn't exalted by nations. All right. Let's see. Jeremiah 30:7. For I restore health unto thee. Who is thee? Who is thee the Most High talking about? I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they have called thee outcast, saying, This is Zion, who no man hath healed. Right? Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Jeremiah 1:5. Jeremiah 8:18-8. If that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of their evil that I thought to do unto them. Continue.
This is another response that I gave him. I've reviewed your claim, and it's built on a category.
Earlier, he said I made 7 videos, right? Which I did. And he said he reviewed my claim. And those videos are 1 hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours long, right? You ain't reviewed none of that shit, man. Stop lying, bro. You ain't reviewed your damn claims that fast, bro. And I told his ass that. Stop fucking lying. With all the Hebrew grammar and all that shit in there, you ain't went back and looked up and did all that type of shit to make sure none of this shit. You ain't did that. Stop lying. You can fool the blind people of your audience. You can't fool no academic, bro. You can't fool no scholar. Go on somewhere with that shit. Stop lying.
Mistake. Isaiah 53 is part of a prophetic unit written before Jeremiah existed, using the nation's future confession as the speaker. I'm not going to go through all this because it just don't make sense, but I want to show you something. I want to show you something. Now, watch this comment, because I'm going to point something out. I'm going to point something out that you guys need to watch for. I'm going to show you his character, his personality, and his demeanor.
And listen, I've already shown you his character, his personality, and his demeanor. Scammer. Example of foolish pride mixed with arrogance. Projected. All onto me. All onto me. Now, I showed y'all my first response. My first comment. 20 hours ago, my first comment. Right? I'd like to converse. Now, he said that, oh, this guy looking to debate. Are you that fucking obtuse you don't know the difference between debate? Definition of converse. Converse. Engage in a conversation or exchange thoughts and ideas verbally. Definition of debate. A formal organized discussion or a contest of ideas in which participants present opposing views on a specific topic. I specifically said converse. This nigga is a liar, bro. Just flat out, he lied all the way around.
All three, which profoundly shows him as not a teacher, but a...
I never proclaimed myself to be a teacher. You'll never see anything like that. The only thing that I teach is the language and the grammar. I don't want to be a teacher because I have to deal with lying niggas like you who fake humbleness. Now, y'all keep talking about this and that. Y'all is the same type of people that will call Phinehas evil for killing the Moabite woman and the Israelite man and stopping the fucking plague. Because he didn't know that by him killing them, it was going to stop the plague. Moses didn't know that shit. Joshua didn't. Aaron didn't. Miriam didn't. The Most High didn't tell him to go do that shit. He did that for the zeal of love of the Most High. And see, you motherfuckers mistake that shit as character and this and all this other kind of shit. When you started the shit, goddammit, I came with an olive branch, nigga. You came with all this shit. You and your members. So now, nigga, I'm matching energies. Now you want to play victim. Nah, ain't no victim.
A competitor. He's performing and he don't know it.
So go back and look. How many things did I prove that he don't know what the fuck he talking about in 40 minutes? In this video, 40 minutes long, I don't even got to go no more. So I'm going to stop it here. Shalom, shalom. But these niggas be lying. And that's like I said, bro. That's why I told them, debate it. Go into the grammar. I do. I go into the grammar all the time. Show how the phrase Yuval, like a lamb, he was led to the slaughter. Show the Hebrew grammar of how that's active. And then show in Jeremiah where he says, like a lamb, I was led to the slaughter. Show how that's passive and prove that and go and do things like that. Reading off somebody else's shit off a screen, bro, you ain't proving nothing. Now, shalom, shalom.
Bakarnish beaderto, yish beabegaloge gumin. Genish haho katarota arusanoto.